All right, so Kevin Durant suffered a devastating injury in Game 5 last night, with the Warriors fearing it could be a torn Achilles. And NBA Twitter reacted, with Trae Young tweeting major respect for KD wanting to rush back and try to help his team win a championship. Get back healthy, bro. Kevin Love added, no, hate to see that. And Dwayne Wade tweeted, even with all the things Durant has done, this is the most feigned out I've been. He knew he wasn't right, but he wanted to be there for his brothers. That's sports, that's love.
Obviously, the whole NBA community is going to come to Kevin Durant's figurative bedside. Now, what you see in this picture there is Kyle Lowry telling some of the fans in Toronto, zip it.
Yeah.
I don't think the fans knew the severity of the injury.
Did. And they changed their tune.
And they ended up cheering KD. Those are some of the best fans in the NBA. I was surprised that the immediate reaction was cheering for him falling down, but they obviously didn't know he popped his Achilles.
But I don't, if you watch the play, though, if the fans are into the game, when he strains his Achilles, pops his Achilles, it's a loose ball. Serge Ibaka's got a breakaway.
Right.
Then he gets fouled, he's shooting, so they're going to be cheering anyway. So now they're supposed to be so tuned in to stop cheering, to wonder what, no, they're at a game. They reacted naturally. Canadians are not that way. All right, if he had been somewhere in the United States, we can expect that. On the East Coast, we can expect that. But the Canadians, they're not that way.
Our backyard probably could expect
There's no
that.
doubt.
Time for stories to start your morning. Big game for the Splash Brothers last night. They combined for 57 points, including 2 crucial three-pointers in the last minute and a half. Warriors beat the Raptors, saving their season 106-105 to force Game 6. Nick, how impressive were Steph Curry and Klay Thompson?
I mean, they were spectacular. They were, along with Durant, the entirety of the offense early, and then once Durant went out, they were basically the only offense late. And this game, it's going to be overshadowed by KD, but this was the first time in 30 years a team facing elimination in the NBA Finals has won a game by just 1 point. Last time it happened, the famous Kareem game with those 2 free throws against Detroit. So we never see an NBA Finals elimination game come down to the last moment the way this did, or we almost never. And they were the biggest part of the ending as well, with those 9 straight points at the end.
Yeah, they were living and dying with the 3. As the team, they hit 20 of them. Steph and Klay shot 27 threes, so that was an emphasis, especially going into the game. Got hot early in the game, but they're the reason why they're able to continue this series. The Splash Brothers, again,
spectacular.
All right, moving on to Kawhi Leonard. He had 26 points, including 10 straight for the Raptors in the fourth, that nearly sealed the Game 5 win. Chris, what did you make of Kawhi Leonard's night?
I thought Kawhi looked good, especially late. I thought early he struggled, turned the ball over, not having a great game, but great players, can they put together a 12-minute quarter? And he was very good at the end. I didn't mind him not shooting the last pass. When you see a double team from Iggy coming, you got Klay on you. Also, you got Steph on that side. You have to be able to make the best play, draw the defenders, kick it, and hope someone gets a better shot. So I thought Kawhi, especially, he salvaged his game by that strong fourth quarter.
Yeah, Kawhi, through 3 quarters, was having the first bad game he's had in these playoffs since Game 2 of the Milwaukee series, which was, by the way, the last bad game Toronto had played. I thought he was going to be in the midst of, in that fourth quarter, an all-time moment that propelled them to a championship, to put a capstone on his all-time playoff run. Obviously, the Warriors regained momentum, but I agree with you 1,000%. Kawhi made the right basketball play. When he saw the double team, it was smart by Iggy to send the double team to make someone else make the play.
They had the double team come from a different spot.
Yeah.
So Kawhi did the right thing. He was guarding Gasol in the middle. Then he came up through the middle to get on his right hand, and Klay was on his left hand. He did a good job by not eating up all the time on the clock, swinging the ball, giving their offense a chance to get a shot.
All right, finally, Warriors won Game 5, but it was bittersweet. After missing more than a month, Kevin Durant finally took the court last night. Came out hot, scored 11 points before going down in the second quarter with what is believed to be a torn Achilles. After all the drama surrounding his return for this series, a devastating way for it to end for him. Here's Steph Curry talking about KD.
When you were on this level of greatness and everybody's kind of poking and prodding and trying to, narrate your story and tell you who you are, who you should be, what decisions you should make constantly over and over and over again. It's part of, comes with this territory, but it's just when you get to know somebody and see how genuine they are and how committed they are just to playing basketball and having fun and living life a certain way, you root for those type of guys.
For him to put his health on the line, to come back and compete at the highest level, he's one of the best to ever do it. I want to try to win this for him. We miss him. We just hope him a speedy recovery. That's our brother, and it's honestly, to be honest, it kind of is very deflating. It's hard to even celebrate this win.
I know it just happened last night, but if you can take a few steps forward, what do you think, Nick, this injury means for KD's future?
If we are assuming that the initial reports are accurate, that it's a ruptured Achilles tendon, everything is now in play and everything is now in flux. Kevin Durant is one of only a handful, and there might not be 5 guys in the NBA that this is true about, that could suffer this injury 10 days before free agency opens, or I guess 20 days before free agency opens, and still have any team with cap space offer him a max contract. He is one of a half dozen guys in the world who financially this won't necessarily damage him as far as what his next NBA contract's going to be. But he now has a real choice to make. We keep talking about Kevin Durant as a free agent, but he has the option to not be a free agent. He has a player option. He could opt into that and rehab with the Warriors on the Warriors' time, with the team that if he is on the quicker end of an Achilles recovery, he would be ready for the playoffs next season. Kobe tore his Achilles, missed 8 months. Rudy Gay missed 9 months. Boogie Cousins missed the full 12 months. But so if he's on a team that's going to make the playoffs without his contributions in the regular season, as we believe the Warriors would, he could opt in. And if his recovery goes the way he would hope, he'd be back in April of next year to contribute. He also could sign a max contract with the Knicks or the Clippers, anywhere he's thinking about, Brooklyn, and rehab on their time and see if he can come back for them.
And their dime.
And their dime. But it is, to me, him opting in to 1 more year with Golden State was 0%. And now it can no longer be 0%. I don't think it's the favorite. I still think he's likely coming to New York City. But the butterfly effect on what it means for the Knicks, what their plan is as far as building a contender instantly, whether they would want to, I'll tell you this much, if you're the Knicks and Kevin Durant still wants to go sign with you, the idea of trading for Anthony Davis so you guys have at least a year of them together, that goes out the window because Anthony Davis is an upcoming free agent after this year. I mean, this is a dramatic event, of course, for Kevin Durant, but for the entire landscape of the NBA.
It definitely changes free agency. I think the chance of him staying in Golden State just increased by a little bit. He doesn't gain anything by staying in Golden State. If he's going to stay there long term, sign a max deal with them long term, then yes, but that wasn't part of his intention. So even staying there, why would I stay there? He's always been uncomfortable in Golden State. He always says it. It's the Warriors and KD. These are his words. This is not stuff that I'm saying. This is not my opinion. This is stuff that he said. So in doing that, why would he opt in if he's not going to be there long term? Just to see the new building? No. Kevin Durant, when he wakes up this morning, he's going to be in a pursuit to get back on the basketball court and to get his basketball life back started. So that would be moving on to another team because it would help the free agent market and the players out there decide. If KD still decides to go to New York, what does Kawhi Leonard decide to do? Because that's a big decision for Kawhi now. Because him and KD matched up, Kawhi's like, wow, I'm going to miss him all during the regular season. Will he be back? The Anthony Davis thing to New York, I don't even believe that's a reality. So I just believe it's between Kevin Durant, he's going to go to the Knicks, or he's going to go to the Clippers. I don't believe the Brooklyn is a real thing. And I don't believe that changed last night because I was on the phone with the NBA executive last night. And regardless of whatever happens to Kevin Durant, regardless they say it's a strain, rupture, regardless, they would take Kevin Durant.
Of course.
All right, Nick, just break down the timing a little bit for all of this, because who is Kawhi waiting on KD's decision? Is KD going to wait? Where does Kyrie fit in? Like, just what's the timing on where everything breaks down?
Listen, I'd be lying to the public if I pretended I had any idea of what Kawhi is waiting on, what he wants. Chris has more insight on that than I do, but I don't think anyone really is in Kawhi's head on this, and I don't think Kawhi's in his own head on this. Kawhi is in pursuit of the greatest moment of his basketball life right now, and then we'll have not a lot of time, but about 2 weeks to figure the rest of it out. This is going to be about, for Kevin Durant, not just where he wants to play basketball next year, but where he wants to rehab. And that is why, to me, I'm going to keep going back to what internal pressure, what whispers were there within the Warriors organization that he needs to get out there. Was it nothing? Was it anonymous assistant scout that was saying it? Or was it teammates? Was it a real executive, or was it the third-tier assistant coach? Because if you're Kevin Durant and it was people that matter within the organization prodding you to play before you were fully ready, the idea that you would then want to spend a year around those same people, to me, dwindles to zero.
Right.
If that wasn't the case, then maybe you would want to stay there with the chance of recovering early and getting back to the playoffs next season, and then having free agency all over again 12 months from now.
But there's not the crop of free agents in the 2020 class as there are this year. Correct. So why would I stay in Golden State, rehab with these guys where everything is already uncomfortable? If there were rumors and everything, I don't believe that. I believe that wouldn't have changed Kevin Durant. He would have pushed himself to get out there on the court. But the catch of free agents next year is not anything like it is this year.
All right, let's move on to Kawhi Leonard now. He did have